Now let us welcome the ninth speaker. The ninth speaker is Mr. Tenfu Matsusita from the University of Tokyo. Mr. Matsushita, please recheck that your camera is on. The topic for the extemporaneous speech is, with COVID-19 forcing us to abandon our old ways of living, we are also quickly stepping into a new generation of the unknown. To establish the new reality as a new kind of motivating prologue for humanity, what specific actions must we take? Then, Mr. Matsushita, please be ready and start your best prologue.
Sure. Thank you, the Master of Ceremonies, and all the judges, and all the audiences. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. COVID-19. More than 720,000 people were killed because of this disease. And there are still many people who are suffering from this disease. And because of this disease spreading more and more, people started being afraid of this disease and became very anxious. So, to establish a new reality, I think the very first thing we need to do is to eliminate the discrimination against people who are infected or related to COVID-19. Discrimination against the people who are infected by COVID-19 is kind of a new discrimination. So we need to cope with solving this discrimination in order to take a new step into a new world. So let me tell you about the example of the COVID-19 discrimination. Well, my friend, whose mother is working as a nurse at hospital, told me about his experience. When he went to a grocery store, he found a neighbor there and tried to approach her to say hello. Then, that neighbor told him, "Don't come close to me. You are a son of a nurse, right? I don't want to be infected." He was shocked and didn't know what to say. Of course, COVID-19 is very scary. However, that scary feeling should not be lead to discrimination. Feeling scared of them and avoiding them to protect ourselves is not discrimination, but judging someone impulsively just because he is working at a hospital or he's young is discrimination. So now, what should we do to stop this discrimination? Firstly, always check to see if the information you get is right or wrong. Before you do something, let's correct information about COVID-19 and make a right decision. The important thing is not checking very small amount of information, but judging by comparing various sources and sharing these informations you collected with others will be the good solution. Secondly, think about how others feel before you act. People do thoughtless things since they can't afford to think about how others feel because of their fear. Please consider how others feel before you do something. Many of us tend to forget about this golden rule in this emergency situation. So, now is the time to keep it in mind. COVID-19 is very scary, but that scary feeling should not be to discrimination. To prevent the pandemic of COVID-19, let's correct information and think about how others feel before you do something. Now, everyone, let's stop COVID-19 discrimination and let's start a prologue for the new era with COVID-19. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Matsushita. Now is the judging time. Let us welcome the ninth speaker. The ninth speaker is Mr. Tenfu Matsushita from the University of Tokyo. Mr. Matsushita, please recheck that your camera is on. He will deliver his speech under the title, A Whole New World. A Whole New World. Mr. Matsushita, please be ready for a speech and start your best prologue.
Sure. Thank you, the Master of Ceremonies and honorable judges, and hello, YouTube. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. For me, the experience of studying abroad was a magic carpet ride to see a new world. When I was a high school student, I went to the US as an exchange student for a year. Studying abroad in my high school days literally changed my life. These days, due to a globalizing world, many people argue for the importance of developing global awareness. Perhaps because of this, according to the survey by the National Institution for Youth Education, 51% of high schoolers answered that they are interested in studying abroad. At least, a little more than half of high schoolers have a desire for studying abroad. However, according to the latest survey by the Ministry of Education, the number of high school students who have actually studied abroad for more than 3 months is just 4,076. For your information, there's 3.2 million high school students in Japan, so the rate of high schoolers who have actually studied abroad was only 0.1%. 0.1% versus 51%. What makes this difference? Why most high schoolers can't study abroad, although they want to? Today, I'd like to discuss this current situation with studying abroad in high school and what we can do about this problem. Some of you may think, why are you talking about studying abroad in high school, not in university? It is because studying abroad in high school leads to their academic momentum for their university lives and their future lives. Let me tell you my experience. Before studying abroad, I wasn't sure what to do in the future, and I wanted to change the situation by going abroad. In a whole new world, I was able to meet a wide variety of people, such as my host sister, who graduated with the highest honor from the Yale University, or my friend, who was fighting against discriminations against African Americans. These encounters made me realize the importance of diversity, global perspective, and gave me motivation to aim higher. After this experience, I decided to go to the University of Tokyo, looking towards the future of working internationally. Like this, studying abroad in high school makes their future vision clear and expand their competences. Actually, in Australia, there's a data which shows that high school students who have that kind of experiences got higher scores and much lower dropout rate in their universities than those who haven't. You may also think, I'm not a high school student, so that's not my business. However, I'd like to say that high school students studying abroad may lead to your benefit. If we help younger generations studying abroad, then they may grow up to be promising human resources who have the global perspective and aggressiveness. As a result, their growth may make Japanese society better, and it must finally lead to our benefit. Now, why most high schoolers can't study abroad, although they want to do so? There are mainly two reasons. First, the number is so small because the number is too small. This may sound weird, but actually it makes sense. Since the number of high schoolers who study abroad is very small, most high schoolers can't imagine studying abroad in high school and exclude it from their choices. Secondly, studying abroad costs a lot. Actually, when I studied abroad, it was my biggest pain in the neck. Sadly, there are very few scholarships from the government or prefectures. Well then, what kind of action should be taken for this problem? The most effective solution is the reconsidering of the current school system by Japanese government. When I was in the US, my Danish friend told me about a system called gap year. In Denmark, students can take 1 year off before entering high school or university. This makes it easier for high schoolers to study abroad. I think Japanese school system should be much more flexible like Denmark so that students can study abroad more easily. Then, what can we do to encourage our government to take action? We, adults, can break down at least a small part of barriers in the way of high schoolers by sharing with them the importance of studying abroad. As I explained, most students in Japan don't see it as a choice to study abroad in high school, although they want to. The important thing is to let them know about the choice of studying abroad in high school, whether they do so or not. For example, I serialized a monthly column in a local newspaper in Okayama Prefecture for 1 year so that I could share my experiences with many people. If you don't have the experience of studying abroad, it's okay. In that case, you can find many blogs or SNS accounts of people who have studied abroad on the internet. Or you can tell them about my case. Also, to solve the financial problems, we can introduce them to the organizations which support high schoolers studying abroad. When I studied abroad, I applied to the youth exchange program run by the organization called the Rotary Club. Thanks to them, I was able to study abroad without worrying about money. Sharing information about these programs to high schoolers can be a solution. If more students try to study abroad, maybe it will be more common, and it can change our government policy of supporting them, like providing more scholarships. I hope that all the students will be able to expand their possibilities. A whole new world. A dazzling place I never knew. I want more high school students to try this wonderful journey for their future. Of course, after the coronavirus pandemic finishes. We can open their eyes. After their magic carpet ride, they'll be the outstanding heroes like Aladdin, who can make our world shining, simmering, splendid. Thank you for listening.
We have a question and answer period. Mr. Tamura, please.
Right, Tenfu-san, thank you so much. How are you today?
I'm feeling nervous, but I'm so relieved right now.
Yeah, you delivered really well. Good job. Thank you
you.
so much for a wonderful speech. So you decided to go to the you picked the United States. Why did you pick the country?
Yes, thank you for the question. The reason why I choose the United States is because I thought that United States is one of the countries which have a biggest diversity. And actually, when I went to the United States, my host family, all of the host families, their backgrounds were all different. So like first family Hispanic and second family from Italian, like that. So I wanted to see a lot of people from different backgrounds, so I chose the United States.
So you said that you did not have a clear vision. You did not have a clear purpose to study abroad. So do you still recommend them to study abroad even though they don't have a clear purpose in high school?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Because, no offense, but I think most high schoolers choose their major at the universities without thinking so much, I think. So I suggest going abroad because we can find what we are interested in during the stay in the other countries. So I think it's better to go abroad.
So if you don't have a clear purpose, if you don't have a clear vision, how can you choose a country that you are going?
I think so. I suggest to go abroad and talk with people who have a different background or different way of thinking. Then for me, choosing the country which has a diversity is very important. But I think the first step for choosing the country will be like, oh, I like this country, or oh, I want to go to France or Italy. Or I think those motivations are good to choose the countries.
Is it too late to study abroad in university? What is the difference? What is the difference between sending somebody, studying abroad in high school and studying abroad in university? What would be the difference between the two?
Thank you. So I think the biggest difference is the earliness. So before going abroad, we don't know what to do in the future. So we can't choose any which university we are going to attend. And after, I think it's okay to go to abroad after getting to the university, but probably it'll be well to go earlier. And also, if we go abroad earlier, then we can learn English skills much more than those who go to universities. So yeah, I think earlier is better.
Yeah, I basically agree with your idea, and studying abroad in high school would be a great idea to broaden their perspective. However, one of the biggest issues is, as you've pointed out, that it is a cost. So many parents cannot afford to send their the children to study abroad. So why do you think that the Japanese government would not give them scholarships for high school students?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is because most of them haven't studied abroad when they were high school students, and they don't know so much about the importance of studying abroad in high school. So so one of my dreams is to become a bureaucrat and change this system. So the people like me who have the experience of these studying abroad in high school will change these systems, I guess, in the future.
Great. Tenfu-san, thank you so much. That's all. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tamura and Mr. Matsushita. Now is the judging time.